Top 10 phobias that actually exist. Terrified of the creepy crawlies? Scared of slithering serpents? Well, you're not alone. According to the American Psychiatric Association, phobias are the most common psychiatric illness among women and the second most common among men. The National Institute of Mental Health suggests that phobias affect approximately 10% of U.S. adults each year. These phobias typically emerge during childhood or adolescence and continue into adulthood. They also impact twice as many women as they do men. What are we afraid of? Phobias are surprisingly common, but what exactly do people fear the most? Are there any phobias that tend to be more common than others? The following phobias are 10 of the most common objects or situations that lead to marked fear and symptoms such as dizziness, nausea, and breathlessness. In some cases, these symptoms escalate into a full-blown panic attack. Social phobia, social anxiety disorder, and agoraphobia are in their own category of anxiety disorders, where the remaining 8 phobias are considered specific phobias related to a particular object or situation. These common phobias typically involve the environment, animals, fears of injections and blood, as well as certain other situations. Number 1. Social phobias. Social phobias are the most common type of fear. They are considered an anxiety disorder and include excessive self-consciousness in social situations. Some people can fear being judged so much they avoid specific situations, like eating in front of others. Up to 1 in 20 people have a social phobia. Number 2. Agoraphobia, fear of open spaces. While it is generally understood to be a fear of open spaces, agoraphobia is a much more complex fear. It is a serious anxiety disorder that can trap people in their homes or make leading a normal life next to impossible. Some people with agoraphobia avoid specific places or venues. Approximately 1/3 of people with panic disorder develop agoraphobia. Agoraphobia usually develops sometime between late adolescence and mid-30s. 2/3 of people with agoraphobia are women. The disorder often begins as a spontaneous and unexpected panic attack, which then leads to anxiety over the possibility of another attack happening. Number 3. Acrophobia, fear of heights. Some people fear heights so badly the escalators at the local shopping center give them vertigo. Vertigo is different to the phobia and is the sense of dizziness people can develop. For others, a clifftop lookout or a tall building makes their head spin. While in some cases, this fear of heights may be the result of a traumatic experience. Current thinking suggests that this fear may have evolved as an adaptation to an environment in which a fall from heights posed a significant danger. While it is common for people to have some degree of fear when encountering heights, this phobia involves a severe fear that can result in panic attacks and avoidance behaviors. Number 4. Teramerhanophobia, fear of flying. With all the media coverage of air disasters, it is understandable many fear being in a plane crash and hence have a fear of flying. But with more than 100,000 commercial flights around the world each day, the chances of being struck by lightning are higher than dying in a plane crash. Number 5. Afidiophobia, fear of snakes. This phobia is quite common and often attributed to evolutionary causes, personal experiences, or cultural influences. Some suggest that since snakes are sometimes poisonous, our ancestors who avoided such dangers were more likely to survive and pass down their genes. Another theory suggests that the fear of snakes and similar animals might arise out an inherent fear of disease and contamination. Studies have shown that these animals tend to provoke a disgusted response, which might explain why snake phobias are so common, yet people tend not to exhibit similar phobias of dangerous animals such as lions or bears. Number 6. Cynophobia, fear of dogs. Cynophobia, or the fear of dogs, is often associated with specific personal experiences. such as being bitten by a dog during childhood. Such events can be quite traumatic and can lead to fear responses that last well into adulthood. This particular phobia can be quite common. This phobia is not just a normal apprehension of unfamiliar canines. It is an irrational and excessive fear that can have a serious impact on a person's life and functioning. For example, a person with Cynophobia might feel unable to walk down a certain street because they know that there is a dog living in that neighborhood. This avoidance can impact the individual's ability to function in their daily life and make it difficult to get to work, school, or other events outside of the home. Number 7. Astrophobia, fear of storms. Astrophobia is a fear of thunder and lightning. People with this phobia experience overwhelming feelings of fear when they encounter such weather-related phenomena. Symptoms of astrophobia are often similar to those of other phobias and include shaking, rapid heart rate, and increased respiration. During the thunder or lightning storm, people with this disorder may go to great lengths to take shelter or hide from the weather event, such as hiding in bed under the covers or even ducking inside a closet or bathroom. People with this phobia also tend to develop an excessive preoccupation with the weather. They may spend a great deal of time each day tracking the local and national weather in order to know when any type of storm might take place. In some instances, this phobia may even lead to agoraphobia, in which people are so afraid of encountering lightning or thunder that they are unable to leave their homes. Number 8. Trypanophobia, fear of needles. Trypanophobia is the fear of injections, a condition that can sometimes cause people to avoid medical treatments and doctors. Like many phobias, this fear often goes untreated because people avoid the triggering object and situation. Estimates suggest that as many as 20% to 30% of adults are affected by this type of phobia. When people with this phobia do have to have an injection, they may experience feelings of extreme dread and elevated heart rate leading up to the procedure. Some people even pass out during the injection. Because these symptoms can be so distressing, people with this phobia sometimes avoid doctors, dentists, and other medical professionals, even when they have some type of physical or dental ailment that needs attention. Number 9. Misophobia. Misophobia, or the excessive fear of germs and dirt, can lead people to engage in extreme cleaning, compulsive hand washing, and even avoidance of things or situations perceived as dirty. In some instances, this phobia may be related to obsessive compulsive disorder. This common phobia can also result in people avoiding physical contact with other people out of fear of contamination, overuse of disinfectants, and excessive preoccupation with media reports about illness outbreaks. People with this phobia may also avoid areas where germs are more likely to be present, such as doctors' offices, airplanes, schools, and pharmacies. Number 10. Aerophobia. Aerophobia, or the fear of flying, affects between 10% and 40% of U.S. adults, despite the fact that airplane accidents are actually very uncommon. Around 1 out of every 3 people have some level of fear of flying. Some of the common symptoms associated with this phobia include trembling, rapid heartbeat, and feeling disoriented. The fear of flying sometimes causes people to avoid flying altogether. It is often treated using exposure therapy, in which the client is gradually and progressively introduced to flying. The individual may start by simply imagining themselves on a plane, before slowly working up to actually sitting on a plane and finally sitting through a flight. Phobias are one of the most common types of psychiatric disorders and can create a significant disruption in a person's functioning and well-being. Fortunately, safe and effective treatments are available, which may include psychotherapy, medication, or a combination of both. The appropriate treatment depends upon a variety of factors, including the symptoms and severity of the phobia, so it is always best to consult with your doctor or therapist. in order to develop a treatment plan that works for your specific situation.